that the war for veterans in many ways doesn't end when they come home, whether it's battling with PTSD or the impacts of homelessness. And I think right now we want to move this very somber event into a bit of a fighting tone, where we see the impact of homelessness has on our veteran community. Not only do they represent a disproportionate share of the homeless population, they're often the most precariously housed due to the psychological impact of war or the difficulty of translating war skills into civilian life. This proposal to build 1,000 homes is a way, I think, to really honor veterans. By digging deep and making the priorities in our city budget for affordable housing, veterans make sacrifices, and when they come home, we need to lay an infrastructure to support them. Kshama Sawant has put forward a $160 million proposal to this year's budget to address the housing crisis that we all see here in Seattle. When we march down to City Hall, we'll all absolutely see tents flocking the side of the street. This $160 million is also choosing to use city's resources for peace instead of militarism. This funding was intended to build a militarized police palace with a long shooting range and room to store weapons of war, which have trickled into our police forces for the use of suppression of discontent. So by averting that money to building 1,000 homes, we're also actively investing in peace instead of militarism. Veterans for Peace joined the coalition to build 1,000 homes, and anyone here can too. You can help us build a political atmosphere where we prioritize justice over militarism, where we take care of our veterans when they come home, where we fight and demand our representatives fight for the things working people and veterans need. Help us call city council members and tell them that your community supports spending a small slice of a $5 billion budget here in Seattle on urgently needed affordable housing.
We're an organization of veterans who went to war, came back, and now work for peace. One of Veterans for Peace missions states, seeking justice for veterans and victims of war. So needless to say, this housing proposal by Councilmember Sawant would be a great help to veterans who are homeless, low-income veterans. We know there is a great need to house homeless veterans and provide affordable housing. Veterans Administration estimates there's about 300,000 veterans that are homeless on any given night in this country. Veterans Day 2016, we call on Seattle City Council members to build those 1,000 homes to get veterans off the street.
Woo! Yeah. I wish we could have peace in the city. I really wish that was something we could have, but there are not the conditions for peace in this city. And that's because, among other things, there's not homes for every person in this city. How can it be peaceful when I don't see peace when I see people living in tents alongside the highway. When I'm struggling for peace, that's not what it looks like. So we are presented with a special moment here in this city. This is not something that's happening all across the country. This is a unique moment where we have a choice as a city to say what kind of city we are. Are we going to go into the Donald Trump era, a law and order city, by spending this $160 million on a militarized police bunker? Or are we going to take that money and spend it on 1,000 units of affordable housing?